Panama is back in the World Baseball Classic. After a 14-year absence, they return with a team they hope can take them farther than they've ever gone before. One of the original 16 teams of the WBC, in 2006 they showed they could hang with some of the best. They lost to Puerto Rico by the score of 2-1, then lost to Cuba by only 2 runs. But their tournament didn't end well. They were blanked by the Netherlands 10-0 in a 7-inning no-hitter. In 2009 they lost their first game to Puerto Rico 7-0. And it just so happened that Dominican Republic lost too. So they were stuck in an elimination game against DR and lost 9-0. Their tournament ended without them even scoring a run. In the qualifier for the 2013 WBC on their home field, they just missed out. Beat Colombia and Nicaragua, but twice were beaten by Brazil, both times by a single run. In the qualifier for the 2017 WBC, again on their home field, they beat France twice, but suffered 2 losses to Colombia, the final match again by just 1 run. In last fall's qualifier for this WBC, once again playing at home, they left no doubt who the best team in the qualifier was. Shut out Argentina 11-0, then shut out Brazil 4-0 to punch their ticket to this year's WBC. For the 2023 WBC, they'll be in Pool A in Taichung, Taiwan, along with Taiwan, Netherlands, Cuba, and Italy. On a good day, Panama can beat any of those other 4 teams, but the same can be said in reverse. It would not be too surprising if they lost to all 4 teams. That's what makes this pool so exciting. Every day we'll go into it having no idea who's going to win. Let's look at their probable starting rotation first. Jaime Barria, a 26-year-old right-hander, has spent the last 5 years with the LA Angels. In 2022, he threw 79 innings in 35 games, ERA 2.61, WHIP 10.34. He was a starting pitcher in his first 4 seasons with the Angels, but in 2021 he had an ERA of 4.61. So he works better out of the bullpen, but he can and will start in the WBC. 25-year-old Humberto Mejia made 8 starts in MLB in 2020 and 21. 2022 was spent with 4 different teams, AAA Reno and 3 teams in the Mexican League. He also played in the Dominican League this winter. 10 starts, 50 innings, ERA 2.15, WHIP 10.53. Left-hander Andy Otero played last summer in AAA Nashville, where he had a 3.41 ERA in 34 innings of relief, and he played in the CPBL with a 4.05 ERA in 26 innings. Harold Arauz has been playing in Panama the last 3 winters. In 2019, he was at AAA Memphis. He threw 57 innings in a mix of starting and relief, ERA 5.93. That rotation looks pretty standard for a Pool A team. 1 good major league pitcher and then some guys who recently pitched in AAA. Barria is the ace. Otero is probably the number 2. But I don't think it really matters in this pool since all the teams are on a similar level. Now let's see what they've got in the bullpen. Javi Guerra, in his 4th major league season last year, pitched 18 innings of relief for the Padres and Rays, surrendered 10 runs for an ERA of 5 and a 1,500 WHIP. Justin Lawrence, in his 2nd major league season with the Rockies, appeared 38 times in relief, 42 innings, 48 strikeouts, but an ERA of 5.70 and a 15.74 WHIP. Left-hander Alberto Baldonado played 1 season at the major league level. That was in 2021 with the Nationals. He had an 8.44 ERA in 10 2/3 innings of relief. The summer of 22 was spent at AAA Rochester, where he appeared 56 times, 63 innings, 81 strikeouts, ERA 3.84, WHIP 11.53. He also looked great in Mexico this winter, 12 innings and only 1 run surrendered. Randall Delgado played 8 big league seasons from 2011 to 2018. He threw over 500 innings with an ERA of 4.10. Last summer he played independent ball at Gastonia, 9 starts, 7 relief appearances, 39 innings, ERA 3.23, WHIP 12.31. This winter in the Dominican League, 2 starts, 3 relief appearances, 12 2/3 innings, ERA 1.42, WHIP 10.26. Severino Gonzalez pitched in MLB for the Phillies in 2015 and 2016, 66 innings of relief, ERA 6.68. Last summer he threw 12 innings of relief in Mexico with an ERA of 6. Matt Hardy reached AAA Nashville in the Brewers system and wasn't bad. 32 games, 34 innings, 32 Ks, ERA 4.15, WHIP 1,500. This winter in the Puerto Rican League, 25 games, 28 innings, 29 Ks, ERA 0.64, WHIP 8.21. 25-year-old Alberto Guerrero reached AAA in the Marlins system in 2021. In 2022, he was at AA Harrisburg, where he registered a 6.97 ERA and 16.45 WHIP in 27 games, 41 innings. This winter in Mexico, 8 games, 27 innings, ERA 4.33, WHIP 13.33. 22-year-old lefty James Gonzalez reached high single-A Lansing in the Oakland A's system, but it was not a pleasant experience. 8 innings, 11 runs, 13 hits, and 6 walks. His time at low single-A wasn't good either, a 5.48 ERA in 70 innings. 23-year-old Wilfredo Pereira pitched at high single-A Peoria last summer. 27 games, 18 of them starts, 118 innings, 129 strikeouts, ERA 5.02, WHIP 11.07. The ERA looks bad, but a high strikeout rate and a low WHIP, so he might be really good out of the bullpen. 39-year-old lefty Davis Romero played 1 season in MLB way back in 2006. He hasn't played in the MLB system since 2009. He plays in Panama every winter. That's a lot of pitchers coming off bad years, but they've got a couple active Major League arms, a few who pitched in MLB not too long ago. Most of their pitchers are active in the Major League system. Not the best pitching staff in Pool A, but not too different from the other teams either. Let's see if the hitting is any different. In the outfield there's Rodrigo Orozco. Last summer he played independent ball in Ottawa. 87 games, 7 home runs, 14 steals, 288, 379, 401. In 2019 he played at AAA El Paso in the Padres system. 26 games, /305, 382, 484, but for one reason or another wasn't brought back. In the minors he played mostly in left, but he can play anywhere in the outfield. 26-year-old Johnny Santos briefly played at AAA New Orleans in 2019. Last time he played in the Major League system was in 2021 at AA Midland of the Oakland A's system. 86 games, 13 home runs, 242, 314, 413. Also plays in Panama every winter. Plays all the outfield positions almost equally. 22-year-old Jose Ramos played in the Dodgers organization last year. At high single-A Great Lakes, 95 games, 19 home runs, 240, 322, 467. Hit even better at the lower levels, so he's a prospect on the right track. Plays all outfield positions with a preference for center. Luis Castillo last played in the Major League system in 2013. That year he played at AA Erie in the Tigers system, the highest level he ever reached. 96 games, 242, 328, 335. No speed, no power. Mostly played in right, a little in left and center. Don't know what he's been doing the last 10 years. Yadiel Santamaria, now 35, hasn't played in the Major League system, or anywhere else as far as we know, since 2010. That was at high single-A Myrtle Beach, where he batted 100. He played all outfield positions and at first. In the infield, Jonathan Arauz played 15 games in MLB for the Red Sox and Orioles last summer, going 5 out of 38 with 1 home run. He played second, third, and short. Ruben Tejada has played in over 600 Major League games, last appearing for the Mets in 2019 when he went 0 for 9. Hung around in AAA till 2021. He played in 80 games and hit 233, 337, 273. Played in the Dominican League this winter and went 4 out of 20. Plays second, third, and short almost equally. Alan Cordoba played in 100 games for the Padres in 2017, slashing 208, 282, 297. Last summer, he split the season between AAA Louisville and the Mexican League. Struggled in AAA but did great in Mexico. 30 games, 6 home runs, 12 stolen bases. 431, 478, 647. Also played in Mexico this winter, putting up average numbers. He can play anywhere in the infield or outfield. At Louisville, he played mostly at first. In the summer in Mexico, third, short, and outfield equally. Winter in Mexico, mostly at third. Jose Caballero played at AA Arkansas in the Mariners organization last year. 31 games, 134 plate appearances, 15 steals. 227, 440, 330. He drew 35 walks in 31 games. And that wasn't just last year. He's been doing that every year at every level of the minors. His usual position is short. Played a lot at third in past years. 22-year-old Joshuan Wright is an Oakland A's prospect. Last year at high single-A Lansing, 81 games, hitting 274, 319, 361. His preferred position is third, but spends a lot of time at second, and in the outfield. Edgar Munoz is a former Pirates prospect who never got past the rookie level. But in 2019 in the Mexican Summer League, he played in 41 games with a line of 312, 383, 478. But that was the last time he played anywhere in the summer. Since then, he's played winter ball in Venezuela and Panama. He's played more in the outfield than the infield, but he's listed as an infielder on the roster. Plays second, third, and short, more at second than anywhere else. Left-handed batter Gerald Chin has been out of the MLB system since 2014 when he played at Single-A Rome in the Braves system, where he played in 21 games with a .211 average and no home runs. He's played winters in Panama in recent years. He never played anything other than second base. Behind the plate they've got Christian Bethancourt. He played in 100 Major League games last year, split between the A's and Rays. Hit 11 home runs and slashed .252, .283, .409. Most of those games were played at catcher, but also spends a lot of time at first. Erasmo Caballero is a 21-year-old switch-hitting catcher, and that's all we know. He's never played in the Major League system or any other big league. Most of these players were on Panama's WBC qualifier team last fall. Jose Ramos homered in both of their games. Alan Cordoba also hit the ball well in both games. So they have that advantage of having worked together recently as a team, and winning. But they were hit hard recently by players withdrawing from the tournament. Nationals pitcher Paulo Espino was going to be the team's ace. He withdrew to concentrate on spring training. St. Louis Cardinals catcher Ivan Herrera withdrew. He wanted to focus on competing for the backup catcher spot. He likely would have been the starting catcher, and they could have moved Bethancourt to first, so both major league hitters would have been in the lineup. And Miguel Cienfuegos, a great pitcher in independent ball last year, now is focused on earning a spot with the Padres. Here's what the starting lineup might look like, except for Herrera. He should be taken off there. Of the players they are bringing, there are some with major league experience, some in MLB now, a lot of minor leaguers, many of them struggling, especially among pitchers. With the talent this team's got, I can't see them losing all 4 games. They'll beat somebody. But compared with the other 4 teams, they look like number 5. That's where I'd pick them to finish. But they're still close to the other teams. Chances of advancing, 20%. If they do make it to the second round, I give them a 5% chance of making it to the final round. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.